Okay, so back to page 125, number 5, I want to talk about crossing this horizontal asymptote. So in rational functions, we have horizontal asymptotes and we have vertical asymptotes, and sometimes we have slant asymptotes. You're not going to cross a vertical asymptote or a slant asymptote, but sometimes you cross the horizontal asymptote. So sometimes your graph could come up and go over it and come back down the other way, and then the horizontal asymptote binds the graph on the other side, something like that. And so to figure out what this location is, or if it crosses at all, we're going to do a little bit of math. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to find the value of the horizontal asymptote. So to find the horizontal asymptote value, we do the Bobo bot and etc. Okay, so if it's Bobo, y equals 0. If it's Botan, then you don't have a horizontal asymptote. You're going to probably have a slant. And probably, not necessarily, but probably. And if it's etc, you're going to divide the leading coefficients. So in this case, it's big on bottom, so I have Bobo. So I have y equals 0. So I'm going to take this y equals 0's value and I'm going to plug it into this equation. So 0 equals 5x squared minus 3x over x cubed minus 8x squared plus 16x. And then I'm going to solve for x. So I'm going to multiply this over, and 0 times anything is just 0, so 0 equals 5x squared minus 3x. And then 0 equals x, 5x minus 3. This right here we said earlier was the intercept, and then x equals 3 over 5. It's my other intercept. And if we go back and look at our graph, if I pull our graph out, you can see right here at 3/5 is where it crosses. This 0, or this x right here, was the factor that canceled out, so this was part of the whole, so that can't be where it crosses, but x equals 3/5 is where I would cross this asymptote. So if I go back to my graph, right here at 3/5, my graph really went down and crossed that horizontal asymptote and then stays close to the other side. So let's say you didn't cross the horizontal asymptote. What that would look like is, let's say, for example, my horizontal asymptote was, let's not use 0. Let's say it was 2. And then you had some equation over here. So you'd multiply this over and have 2 times stuff equals stuff, and you'd solve it out. If you get something like, 2 equals 3, we know that's not a true situation, so that would mean it does not cross. So if you get a mathematical statement after solving that's not possible, then it means it doesn't cross. And if you get a mathematical statement of x equals something, that x equals tells you where you're going to cross your horizontal asymptote. On pages 120 and 129, there's more information about this, and you can go back to Edmodo and watch the videos that cover that on Thursday.